Grid basically is what you would use to help focus your light, because usually when you're using a softbox for LED lights or any kind of light, light tends to spill everywhere. So whether you get it on you or get it on a wall or a table, some people want to be able to control exactly where the light goes so they won't have that spill. So say for like color correction, they want to make sure the table's a little darker or the wall's a little brighter or something of that sort. They would want to use a grid to help really focus in the light source to the direction that they want. So yeah, I got me a grid. Like I mentioned before, I bought actually 2 of these, so I know how to set it up pretty well. And I do have 2 different lights. I wanted to test out a bunch of different stuff just to see what works best for my scenario. So that's why I know if you guys are interested, definitely consider subscribing here and watching out for those videos, because I'm definitely going to be testing out a lot of different products and let you guys see what may be best for your situation. Anyway, this second part is actually a cover for the back of the light box. So the soft box will actually have a opening in the back, so when you're actually adding in your actual rods, you won't have to worry about trying to have less space. So it gives you a gap to actually get the rods in. It makes it a little harder for you putting it together, basically. And so with that being said, this cover right here works out really great. And plus, it works for 2 different purposes, because what happens is the light itself would spill out on the back end of the light. So instead of focusing all your light forward, it'll go towards the back, and you don't really want that in your shot. So sometimes you may not need, I mean, you can leave it open if you wanted to and let it spill out if you need to, but a lot of people don't want to use half of their light because there's going to be a lot of light spill and you're losing your light source. So it may not be as bright as you originally intended it to. I'm sorry if you guys hear a lot of noise in the background. I have family and I'm trying to get my shed shut up so I don't have to worry about hearing any background or kids running around or anything like that, but it is what it is. You guys just have to bear with it like I do. Anyway, second part of the softbox is a the diffuser. There's 2 diffusers in here. Both of them are in separate bags. So like the main bag is for the bigger one, and then there's a smaller bag with the smaller one in it. The reason why there's 2 is because the softbox is going to have another diffuser before it gets to the main one on the front. So there's going to be one in the middle, and that helps for any lights that you may have trouble with hot spots. So what happens is when a light shoots out, some of these lights tend to create a very bright circle in the center. So this will help diffuse that to keep the circle more diffused. So it kind of helps blend in so you don't actually see one circle of a light and then a faded out light from the actual bigger softbox portion. So that helps out a lot for lights that aren't as well as spreading out the light source. Next we have is a bubble wrapped film for your actual Bowens mount. And the Bowens mount is loose. It's made that way so that way you can get it on your light, but it has a knob here, so once you turn it all the way, it will stop you from being able to move it. So that's pretty nice. I like that little setup because it makes it kind of handy when you're trying to move things around and adjust your light wherever you want to adjust it to. So that's nice. Next we have the actual softbox itself. Comes packaged in another bag. It's really nice. The material actually feels pretty good. It doesn't feel cheap or anything. So I really like that it's compact and it doesn't feel cheap at all. And the sewing is really nice. It's really tight, thick threads here, so you don't have to worry about it falling apart on you or anything like that, or ripping. So that will be the main portion of your softbox. And then you have 8 rods inside. So if I get that out. And there is pretty much it. The only other thing that's in here is a gel that helps to keep moisture from getting in. I would recommend you guys keeping these because anytime I buy anything that comes with gels, so like 3D printer filaments, I do a lot of 3D printing on my channel and designing. So a lot of 3D printer filaments come with these, and these work out really well because if you have, say, a lot of gear like camera lenses and stuff, sometimes you'll go out to places that may be a little humid. I'm here in Florida, so we have a lot of rain and saturation and humidity out here that can really mess with your lenses. So say like if I'm inside of a air conditioning house and then step outside and it's kind of humid out, then there is a chance that I will get condensation on my lenses. And then at that point, if there's any kind of dirt or anything over a period of time, can actually accumulate and make fungus. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people try not to be around situations like that, because fungus is a real thing when it comes to lenses. You guys could check it out. They're more for like older style lenses, so like a Canon FD lens or any of the Helioses from back in the day. There's a lot of old Russian lenses and stuff that people like to use, but there's always that risk of getting one that has fungus, and it's because fungus happens over a period of time due to moisture and dirt. And these gel packets here will keep moisture off of your stuff, so you never have to really worry about any condensation being on your equipment. So that's why I keep all of these in my camera backpacks and pretty much anything that I have to do with lenses or film, basically gear. So I never want to worry about any kind of condensation happening with my stuff. So I'm going to set this down here because we don't need it anymore for right now. I'm sorry if the video is dragging out. I just want to give you guys some helpful tips to keep your gear clean and user friendly. Anyway, so we're going to open up the dome here. It is completely encased, but it does have a part where you can open it up. If I could find it. I believe there is a part, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe that, no, this one doesn't, the back part does. That was my mistake. So this is one complete thing. There isn't like a Velcro strap that allows you to take it apart. Some light boxes or soft boxes do have that, where it's Velcroed at a seam and then you can actually completely take it apart. Anyway, for what I'm doing right now, underneath here, there are a bunch of little sewed in tabs, kind of. They're like a little gap in between here, and that metal piece of the rod goes right in there. So it's going to be a little tough because it's really compact. Like I said, those the actual threading on here is really tough, which is great because this is going to be stretching and pulling and you don't want to have to worry about it ripping. So I like that it's tough, but it will take a little bit to work it in. But inside of here, you'll see that you can actually just shove them in. There's a little bit of a gap in here. Okay, almost got it. There it goes. Just like that. Now it's in there without any issues. So you're going to want to do that for all of them. So we're going to do that really quick. Sorry if this video is taking a second. Matter of fact, I'm just going to pause the video really fast just to get all these in. It's pretty much self-explanatory. End of the rod goes into these pockets. Okay, once you have all the rods in each individual pocket, you can start getting the rods mounted into your Bowens mount. So I'm going to move this all around really quick. And then if you guys look, the Bowens mount adapter piece is numbered. So we have 3, then 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3, and 2. Now, the reason why they're numbered is because they're trying to give you a hint on how to get this mounted. So I would just do all the 3s instead of doing the 2s. So you can do 3, 3, and then here. So that'll be 1, 2, 3. Then we have 4 that has nothing on it. Then 5, there goes another 3. Then this one right here, another 4. So I mean another empty one, so that'll be 6. Then we have 7, and then we have 8. So if you keep all those set up correctly, it should equal out to a good octagon for you. But we're gonna find out for sure. I can't fully remember if that's how it's supposed to go, but we're gonna find out here with you in a second. And like I mentioned, I only got this, only got 2 of these, only set up 1 so far. But like I mentioned, this is definitely a video for you guys, so that way you guys can kind of understand how to put it together. And so obviously each rod end goes into the slot inside the hole. I'm not worried about that. That just fell, but it's okay. It's in a bag. And we got this one right here. Oh wait, nope, this one. So you just want to go around getting all the ones inside their perspective locations. Honestly, I kind of want to set it up to where it matches my stuff. So what I'll do is, see, once you get them in there, they start getting really tight, and which is good because you want it to spread out evenly for your light. So honestly, you don't even really have to look at the numbers because I'm only looking at the top here, and each one that's kind of at a certain amount of degrees lines up with your tabs here basically. And on the inside there is Velcro. I'm going to show you guys how to kind of do that because the Velcro has to be on the inner side of these rods, but I'll show you that once we get all the rods in. So now that we have that one, I'm going to go ahead. I don't know how well this is getting everything in the shot. I'm going to get all these picked up really quick. Okay, sorry if this video isn't the best quality, guys. I wasn't really trying to make the best quality video. Just wanted to help everybody out. Because I'm not in my studio yet, and on top of that, I'm not like professionally setting my area up, which is fine. I mean, this is just a little tutorial to help everybody out that was having issues. Okay, so next would be this one. There it goes. And then the one following after into this slot. So like I said, you want to just make sure that all of them are lining up with your seam on the softbox. So that would help you out a lot too. Now we're just gonna move it like this so you guys can kind of see what's going on. Once you start getting them lined up like that, they kind of start lining themselves up. It's where you can just put them into the holes that you know for sure needs to go to. So if I do that, and then again, there we go. Now we have the softbox. And it looks pretty nice. Now, about these tabs here that I was mentioning earlier. I don't know how well you guys can see it. Here we go. You're gonna wanna tuck this in on the opposite direction. So that way your rod can actually fit really nice inside of the seam. And then you'll still have, you wanna make sure that the Velcro soft part of the Velcro is on this side flat, because you're gonna be using that for the inner portion of your diffusion. So I'm going to pull this. Once you got the rods in, it kind of stays in, so you don't really have to worry about the rods like flicking out or doing anything weird. So you can push this down and move things around. The only reason you're hearing all that noise is because the screw is loose, at least the back of the Bowens mount. Remember I was talking about earlier. So I just went ahead and tightened it up. Now it shouldn't be really jiggling around like that. But see, once you pull those tabs out, it fits inside the seam really nice. Then that one, and we'll get this one really quick. There we go. And that one's good, that one's good, and that one's good. Okay, all the way around, all good. So that is the inner portion of your softbox pretty much done, or at least the outer portion. Now we have to work on the inner portion. So next will be our diffusion. So I'm gonna get this unwrapped really quick. So the first diffusion you're gonna be using, it comes in the small little bag here. So I'm gonna open that up. So once you do this, it has a whole bunch of the actual hard tacky Velcro portion. So the soft Velcro is on the inside and the tacky one is on the outside. And how you're going to do this is you're just going to line up each Velcro. So you'll pull this one out and then you just attach just like this. Make sure that they line up perfectly, then you don't have to really worry about your inner diffusion being a little off or anything weird. So once you get both of them lined up right, it sticks on there. So we're gonna do all these really fast. I'm trying to make this video not too long, so bear with me guys if it is. I'm not trying to kill your vibe or have you jump to somebody else or something. Honestly, I haven't seen anybody use this softbox with a video yet, so I'm trying to make sure you guys have all the information because I didn't see any other tutorials. Okay, so we got that one. And then next we'll be getting this one. Almost at the home stretch, guys. I try to make sure mine are really nice and accurate for the setup, because if you do everything and everything lines up perfectly, you shouldn't have to worry about any weird light spills or not having your diffusion work properly like you want. So it's because it's obviously computer aided design for all this stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure some kind of computer sewing machine probably sewed everything together, and somebody probably designed it on some kind of like AutoCAD system. So if it is designed like that, then obviously there's a reason for the perfectionists here that want to make sure everything lines up right, because it keeps your light focused in the location you want it to be focused at. Okay, now that we have that, that is it in a nutshell for this portion. And it will sit like that, kind of like a little trampoline. And like I mentioned, since you have it strapped on there right, it will be pulled. It looks a little strange because it's going at a curve. It would probably have been better if it was straight, but it works. It's flexible Velcro, so I mean it is a material like any other type of fabric. So anyway, now we can go ahead and get the second part of our diffusion on. So if we do that, just pull it out the bag and open this up. What's good is if you're doing this in a computer chair, say like if you're sitting in like a computer chair, you can literally have this sitting on your lap, and it helps you because your face is like right there in front of your Velcro and information, so you can really look how fine-tuned you can place everything and line everything up. So now that we have that, you can see this is the hard Velcro like this one had. This is the spiky part. And then all on the edges here is the soft Velcro. So you want to line it up down here so you can see the holes here, or the gaps that allow your rod to go into. Before it fully goes into that slot, there's still some soft Velcro right here. And that's where you want to make sure you're placing your tough Velcro at, is right in that gap. So before it gets to that pocket that allows you to put your rods in. So if I put that right there and right there, the better you get this lined up, the more happier you're going to be, because then you won't have to worry about light coming out of the cracks of your softbox. And once you get it, you just push down, straighten it out, and then you just start going all the way around. So if we do that one and then underneath, and what's good is the points here, there, like since it's an octagon, there is like a little arrow, kind of like a point going up that allows you to really get you into these corners that you need to get into. And it basically points you in the direction that you need to put your softbox to, or at least your diffusion into the softbox. And if it gets kind of stuck, you can still, tear it off. It's not going to be it's not going to be anything bad. I mean, it's made to be taken apart, basically. Okay, and then corner to corner, that's where you're at. Corner to corner. It's getting a little too low. I have to bring it up just a tad. Let's just rip this one up a little bit. I'm a perfectionist, guys. I can't help it, especially when it comes to light, because you never know what light can do to your information, and you're not gonna know if how you could have gotten. How I see it is, you're not gonna know that your lighting is not as best as it could be because of the fact you're not sure. You didn't know how well to set this up, right? So if your light is spilling out, you don't really know that, so you don't know how well you can make your scene lit. But if you do everything how I'm doing it here, where it's completely accurate, lining up nicely, then you never really have to worry about it, because I know you don't know, and nobody would know how light can affect your scene that way if you didn't know how to put your softbox correctly together. So you're gonna be like, oh, well, you know, I thought it was okay, but then when, you know, you took it apart and then actually set it up perfectly, you're gonna be like, oh, well, now I see that my light isn't bouncing off on my ceiling or that part of my face anymore. What happened? Maybe you liked it that way, or maybe you were surprised because you were thinking about getting another softbox or something, and you're just was like, wow, that actually worked out. I was so ready to get another softbox because I thought this one just was something wrong with it and had light spilling all over the areas that I didn't want it to spill at. So now that we're at the home stretch, we only got like 2 more. Now we're at the home stretch. We only got 2 more to do. So I'm gonna get these done really fast. There we go. And you can see that it's really pulling, which is good. And you can tell that the Velcro is doing a really good job because it's really stretching this softbox out, and the diffusion too. And it makes a good stretch, which then you don't have any wrinkles and you won't have to worry about your box having any weird reflections from the wrinkles in your diffusion. Now that we have that, we can go ahead and get our grid on. And it's the same process. You're just going to go around, but this time we're going to go in the edges here. That will fill up the rest of the corners here. It's about 1.5 inches maybe. I'm not sure exactly the information, like I don't have a ruler with me to find out, but it looks like about 1.5 inches worth of thick length for these Velcro straps, which lines up perfectly with the inner portions up here, this gap that we have. So you're just gonna get 1 strip, then you're gonna move on to the next strip. So the next one is gonna be the hard Velcro again, and it comes out in 1 complete like Velcro tape. So don't even look at your checkerboard grid. You wanna look at the actual Velcro looking tape portion, because once you get that lined up, your grid will actually line itself up where you don't even have to worry about if it's set up properly or not, or like if it's in the right angles, or if it's looking like a diamond instead of little squares. There we go. And then the next one. And you want to make sure that you put it on the portions that have kind of your softbox too, because then that also stops your light from spilling out. Like I mentioned, guys, I'm sorry if you hear a lot of screaming and craziness. My kids yell and do crazy stuff whenever I start recording a video, but I love them, so I can't really do much about that. Okay. So we got this. It's almost finished. Just make sure you press on them really tight so you can make sure all the even if you have to go in between the little squares here, there's a little like triangles towards the end. You want to make sure you get those in, and then we are good to go. See how it's lining up now, which is great. Exactly what we're looking for. I mean, it is a lot to put together, and that's why it's really unfortunate that they didn't have instructions for this, because these were my first ever soft boxes that I've ever had in my life. And I mean, I'm not a idiot or anything, but I mean, instructions would help anybody. So just to make sure you're doing it right anyway. But I've been dabbling in photography and video since I was really, really young. And I even took classes in high school for photography and won awards and things. I had stuff in museums. So I'm really up there when it comes to understanding cameras for the most part. So I'm not dumb, but I never owned a softbox because I never seen the need to before. But now that I have a better location, I wanted to make sure that I try to do my videos more professionally instead of YouTuber-ish, I guess. I want to make sure that this is covering over those corners, because the softbox diffusion is being stretched, and it may allow where the corners are where you put your rod in at to allow a little light spill. So what you can do is use this Velcro that's on the grid to kind of cover that up to make sure that no light will come out. So that's what I'm kind of doing here, because everything's being stretched and pulled, so that'll help block any other spills or like little beams of light shooting out the corners or something like that. Okay. All right, that looks good. And this one right there. And that looks like we're about finished with it, guys. I hope you guys are liking the video. Please like, share, subscribe. I will be posting this video to my YouTube channel and on the actual Amazon review location, or like in the reviews, so that way people who are looking at buying it can look at the video there too. But as you can see, we have it set up and it looks pretty good. It's not bad looking at all, to be honest. So if I get the back in the shot here, I don't know how well you guys can see all this, but it's a pretty big softbox, guys. But it's not so big where you can't, I mean, there are bigger ones, and that's the reason why I got this one, is because I didn't want the biggest softbox. I just needed one for my tight little space. So now that we're done with that, we can go ahead and get it mounted to the light. And since it is a Bowens mount, well, you know what? First, let's just go ahead and get the backing on, so I can show you guys that. I could have put the backing on after I got it mounted, but it really doesn't matter either way. But this backing, that's what I was mentioning earlier, it actually has Velcro that allows you to completely open it up. That's what I thought this one was doing, but it didn't have that ability. I forgot that this one's completely surrounded, which makes sense because it needs to stretch. Anyway, we'll just do it like this. We'll start off by remember to line up your seams with your rods. It always helps to the rods help you guide everything. So if I just press the Velcro on, there we go, and that was perfect. Okay, move it around. Okay, that looks good too. Next one, we're almost there, guys. I'm trying to speed up a little bit here. I know you guys are probably like, God, this is taking forever. But, I mean, if you would have ran into the same issues, it would have took a lot longer. Believe me, the first one took a lot more time to get it set up than this one did. But that's what's good. I mean, once you learn how to do it, then it's kind of, easy, like riding a bike. So you just take it apart, put it back together. Before you know, you'll be able to take these apart and put them back together as much times as you want, and pretty much on the fly. So okay, so once we get down to the last portion, we just get that lined up again like I mentioned, press everything down, and then this Velcro gets onto here where you guys can actually completely enclose it. And that will block out all of your light. Now that it's finished, you can see there is another way to kind of do, like I feel like there would be another way to kind of do this a little bit, so that way even this portion wouldn't be like up like that. Honestly, I don't know if there is a way, but I feel like I would be able to take this off and then like kind of attach some kind of fabric that helps push that into here where the Bowens mount goes, and then it will be in super tight. But that would be something I would have to hack together. So if you guys are interested in something like that, if you want me to try that out, see if it really stops any other light spills. I mean, I don't think anything is really going to come out the back of here, but you never can tell or know until you start using it. But if you guys want me to do something like that, I don't mind doing that type of test where I get a piece of fabric or something that like Velcro wraps around here, and then we take the Bowens mount off and then put that on top and then lock it into place where it stretches this, so that way there won't be any gaps coming out of these cracks here. That's the only thing I would think of that may wind up having some kind of light spills, these little like cracks right here that's from the fabric being folded. Anyway, now that we have all that done, the light still looks the softbox looks fantastic. We're gonna get that thing mounted now. Okay, so there's a little tab here, but you don't need to worry about that. That's only when you want to release it. Like I mentioned, I'm going to do a review on this light, so don't pay this really no mind right now. Just wait for the review for this light to come out, because it is fantastic and it is very affordable. But yeah, so once you get that on, you just turn it. It's hard to do. That's why, honestly, if you're having issues trying to get it on your light, you can open up that tab a little bit. Get on the inside, push it in, and then rotate it. Whoop. There we go. Click. There it goes. Clicked into place. Perfect. So now that you have that, you can just cover that right back up. That's what I like about that back portion, is that you can take it off and not have to really worry about it. So now that we have that in place, this light, I'm going to get really quick a power plug, plug it in, and have it turn on. Then you guys can see how well this actually does. Okay guys, so what I did was I shut off the light that was closest by me. I left one on because obviously you guys kind of still need to see me and the box a little bit here, at least the softbox and all. So now I'm going to turn on the light, the newer. It's only going to be at 10% brightness starting off, and then we're going to get brighter, but you guys are going to be able to see how well it looks. I didn't change any settings on my camera. I am at 1/50th of a shutter speed, f2.8 for my aperture, and then ISO 400. So if I turn it on, that's what it looks like at 10%. And then I can bring the power up. We are now at right here is 50, and you can see how well it does for a light source. It's doing really well. That's just 50%. So if I bring it all the way up, there it goes. We're at 100 and it is looking fantastic. So if I put it aside to like shine on me somewhere, I think it'll do really well. Let me just do that really quick so you guys can kind of see that as well. All right, guys, so I have the light stand, or not the light stand, but I have the softbox sitting on a box over there. The tripod is flimsy. It wasn't able to really hold anything. I don't have a light stand, and it's just because I didn't need one. You'll find out in the future video of my studio that I'm making for why I don't really need a light stand. But if you got a light stand, obviously you'll be able to stand on there without any problems. But this is at 100%, and you can kind of see, obviously I'm kind of a little blown out, and like on this side. It's because I don't really have, obviously, a light stand to project it where I want it to at the very moment. But with it even being at 100, if I dialed it down or something, I definitely can do that. I'm just not going to on this video. This isn't about the light, it's more about the softbox. And you guys will see more videos in the future about the softbox and my lighting setup and everything, and how well these lights that I've been buying works, and how much they are, and why I would keep buying them in the future, because they're affordable and they work so good. But that's it in a nutshell, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I hope you guys have a safe time out here with all these coronavirus. Like, I can't even stress how bad it's gotten out here in Florida by itself. But hopefully you guys are doing okay, and I wish the best for you.